Have you ever stopped to wonder if you're truly living or just existing? Waking up tired, working without soul, smiling with your mouth while your chest cries and calling that routine? The truth is, thousands live like this and don't even notice, trapped in the life that looks like theirs, but isn't. The most shocking part? We've normalized the emptiness. But what if I told you that the life you long for isn't in the next degree, the next paycheck, or the next trip? It's here, now, in this exact moment as you read these words. And the best part, learning how to truly live doesn't take years or require you to drop everything. With just one shift in perception, you can begin to feel, really feel, love for life again. The problem is, no one taught you this. On the contrary, they trained you to survive, not to live. But what if today the key finally turned? What if this video is the nudge your soul has been quietly begging for? The story of Kael. At the foot of the Akenu mountains, under a sky that seemed to cry with the world, arrived Kael, shoulders hunched, eyes lost, heart begging for a break life had never allowed. He didn't know exactly what he was searching for, only that he couldn't bear it anymore. The constant weight of smiling without feeling, working without love, existing without living. Inside him echoed a muffled scream, desperate for truth, for love, for something, anything, that would make him feel whole, even if just for a moment. When he saw the old Master Ryuu sitting in the shade of a fig tree, the silence between them was already more healing than 1,000 words. As Kael approached, he didn't need to explain a thing. He was welcomed as if he had always belonged there. Because sometimes, the greatest wisdom isn't in being saved, but in finally being seen with a naked heart. That damp night, with the mountains sleeping and his chest overflowing with exhaustion, Kael knelt before Ryuu, hands pressing against his chest as if trying to hold his heart together. "I can't keep being strong all the time," he whispered, his voice heavy with years of silence. "Everything I've achieved tastes like nothing, feels like nothing. I just want to feel something that doesn't hurt." It was there, between tears and raw vulnerability, that he made his real request. He didn't want formulas or miracles. He just wanted to relearn how to live, to fall in love with the simple things, to remember what it felt like to be moved by the sound of rain or someone's spontaneous laughter. And Ryuu, with eyes full of compassion and quiet understanding, received this request like one holds a seed, small on the outside, but carrying the potential of an entire forest. That damp night, with the mountains sleeping and his chest overflowing with exhaustion, Kael knelt before Ryuu, hands pressing against his chest as if trying to hold his heart together. "I can't keep being strong all the time," he whispered, his voice heavy with years of silence. "Everything I've achieved tastes like nothing, feels like nothing. I just want to feel something that doesn't hurt." And Ryuu, with eyes full of compassion and quiet understanding, received this request like one holds a seed, small on the outside, but carrying the potential of an entire forest. The next morning, blanketed in thick silence, Kael sat before Ryuu, heart still unsettled, expecting great revelations. But all the master offered was stillness and the sound of leaves dancing with the wind. "You're waiting for life to shout at you," Ryuu said, eyes on the horizon, "when really it's been whispering all along. The only thing life ever asks of you, Kael, is presence. That's it. The present moment is the only place where love can bloom, where truth can be touched, where feeling stops being effort and becomes essence again." And in that moment, with no ceremony, no ritual,
Kael began to understand that the miracle was never in the answers, but in the silence between one breath and the next. He started to find beauty in the simple, holding his teacup with both hands like something sacred, not the tea, but himself. The rising steam felt like a hug he never knew he needed. The delicate scent of the camellia seemed to whisper stories of a time when life was simpler. In that slow gesture, in Ryuu's quiet gaze, Kael might have been witnessing a silent miracle. The miracle of being fully present in a single moment. "You were never broken," the master said softly. "You were just too distracted to see how whole you already are." And there, as the world outside rushed by, Kael chose, for the first time, not to follow, but to feel. Months later, Kael was no longer the same. Or maybe he was, just without the layers of dust that the world had thrown on him. He walked slower, with eyes that really saw, and a heart filled with gratitude for the smallest things. The breeze on his face, a stranger's sincere smile, the silence between two notes of music. What once felt like emptiness had become fertile ground. And now, he was teaching others to feel, to listen to what pain tries to reveal. He didn't wear robes or preach absolute truths. He simply held space with love and spoke with presence. "You don't have to figure out your whole life," he'd say to those who arrived in distress. "You just have to come home, and that home is now." And so, from seeker, he became a guide. Not because he had all the answers, but because he had learned to walk alongside truth, feeling it, step by step. And hey, if you made it this far, take a deep breath. Breathe with your chest, your belly, your soul, because you just did something rare in this world. You paused to listen to yourself. And I know, maybe you started this video carrying the weight of the world, heart cracked, mind racing. But look at you now. Maybe with a lump in your throat, maybe with teary eyes. But just a little lighter, a little more you. Because in the end, life just wants us to come back home. And that home was never a place. It was always a feeling. The feeling of being yourself in the now. You don't have to reinvent yourself every day or fake strength when all you want is a hug. You can rest, smile for no reason, cry at a sunset, laugh hard at a silly stumble in the living room. That's where love hides, in the in-betweens, in the pauses, in the smell of fresh coffee, in the kind of silence that only exists between two people who truly love each other. And if you leave this space feeling even a little more alive, more whole, then that's miracle enough. But tell me, what awakened in you? What part touched that sacred space no one else could reach? I want to hear you. I want you to share it in the comments, not for me, but for you. Because when we speak, pain finds a way out. And when we love, the world opens up. If this touched your soul, turn on notifications, subscribe, and stay with me. Because this is just the beginning. There's still so much beauty waiting to be remembered inside you.